know the same. Say my name, baby, say my. About what you say, the money and the fame, baby, say my. Just say it loud and say it proud for me. Like you own it, I know you want it.
Hey y'all, okay, so look, I keep on telling y'all, right, that I'm gonna stop saying I'm low-key an A&R, because I basically am an A&R at this point. So if you guys really like that song, well, you liked it, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
His name is J-Rod, and it's J-R-O-D, and then follow him on all social media platforms, and the song is called Say My Name. Alrighty, what's up, y'all? So it's your girl Malika checking in with another episode of From the Block. So I'm here with a very, 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 very special guest today. Please give it up for Shay. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm glad you accepted the invitation. It's actually long overdue because I actually hit you up, I think last year actually. So yeah, very long overdue. So how are you doing?
I am doing good.
That's good.
For the start.
Okay. We going to. So how are you doing?
I am doing good.
That's good.
For the start.
Okay. We going to talk. Just know this is a safe space, so just feel free to just let it all out. And yeah, we're going to have a really dope conversation today. Okay, so you ready for this intro? Because I wrote a pretty dope one. So, graduating can be exciting for pretty much everyone. So everyone's super proud of you. You know, you're starting a new chapter. You're basically looked at as the golden child. Now, on the other hand, graduation can also be a very scary time. Scary because life does change. And, you know, change doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but it's because it's so unfamiliar, it can come off as scary. So today I wanted to talk about life after post-grad. So I guess this is like a continuation of the God Bless You's 20-something series inspired by SZA's song. So, you know, life after post-grad, what does that look like career-wise, dating-wise, relationship-wise, mental health-wise, all of that. So I'm gonna ask the question again. How are you doing, Shay?
That was the real question. Honestly, I think that was the perfect intro because that's exactly how it feels. Like once you first graduate, it's like, wow, this is the world after graduation.
Mm-hmm.
You're really hoping for like everything to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought by this time I would be like a millionaire because I already got the degree. That's what they make it seem like. They make it seem like you go to school, you get the degree, you should get this fancy job, and then everything is just falling into a perfect world. But honestly, that is not how it's been.
We love the honesty.
It has not been like that at all. Like just being like super transparent, and I think I'm gonna be really transparent today because I think this is a topic that needs to be talked about more, and just more attention needs to be poured into. Because a lot of people commit suicide after graduation. The rate is really high, and I've seen it happen multiple times. And just for me, I mean, obviously I haven't got that far. I'm still here. But
Praise the Lord.
Maybe I thought about it. Let me stop playing now. But it's a very serious thing. I would say for me, the transition was just a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But it has a lot to do with just knowing what I want to do. You know, like from kindergarten to high school to college, you should kind of already have an idea of like, what do you want to do? And even though I did go and get a 4-year degree in finance, I still didn't know like where that was going to take me per se. And just the transition from like deciding, okay, being an entrepreneur, getting into the corporate world. And I think that's something like we were kind of talking about earlier. It's been a lot. So just shout out to everyone who made it. Everyone who's graduated, and I just want to say, like, just keep pushing.
So I was gonna wait to the end, but I'll put it at the top. So mentally, you can just be transparent. How are you now compared to when you first graduated? Okay, pause. So you graduated from Georgia State. It was last year, right?
Yeah, 2022.
Okay, last year. So how are you now mentally compared to when you first graduated to now?
So just being transparent, I would say It was really, I think when I first graduated, I was really excited because of the expectations that I had of what it was supposed to look like after graduation. But then I also went into like this really sad, anxious, afraid phase in my life that I just didn't know like what was next or what I'm supposed to be doing or what God's plan is for my life or just how to do this life thing. So I think like mentally it's been really hard, but you know, to the glory be to God, I've been able to like come past it and just get more prayerful, taking time to just understand myself more and just really understanding that it's a process.
So with the knowledge that you have now, at one point, did you ever feel like, oh my God, like why did I even go to school?
No. You know, I am so pro entrepreneurship, but I am so pro education. I just think there's so many things that school would teach you that you can't learn on your own. And life is about experience. And if I didn't go through the experience of school, like little things like time management, speaking proper English, writing correctly, those are like small things that I think I wouldn't be able to use now. And I think for my career path that I want to be in is really important to have education. I think knowledge is always power. It's just depending on how you use it. It's not the gateway to money, but it is the gateway to knowledge.
Gotcha. So what I will say, not to sound like a generic Instagram quote, but something that I've always heard and I experienced it firsthand last year, because I graduated December 2021, same school, Georgia State, and I would always see online, right, that when things are falling apart, that's actually a good sign because that means that it's coming together. Yeah. And I know, like, when you're actually going through something, you hear that, you're like, okay, that's just BS. Like, what are you saying? And what I will say is I started noticing great progress in my life when everything, like, fell apart. When I mean everything, I'm talking about, you know, you get the high from graduation because everyone's like, yeah, you the golden child. And, you know, like, we first generation African kids. So, of course, we looked at as, like, you know, the top of our family because, you know, we graduated. And then that time period comes, which I've talked about before, but I just didn't go into detail with it, of, like, okay, you know, you staying at your parents' crib and, you know, you don't got a job yet. So, you know, they start looking at you like, hey, you know, what you doing? And then it's like, you know, when I told my parents that I wanted to be a creative, I actually told them while I was in undergrad. But, you know, like, I was still in school. So it was like going in one ear.
Cute.
Yeah, it was like, okay, yeah, cool, do your thing. And then after graduation, I was like, you know, I want to do this for real. And I feel like it was like me telling them I wanted to be like a rapper or something. Yeah, it's like, what the hell is wrong? Like, what? Are you for real? And then on top of that, going through grief as well, because I had lost a family member. And then on top of that, similar to you, I knew what I wanted, but I just didn't know how to go about getting it.
Yeah.
And that's really frustrating.
Yeah. And I think that is the most painful part, like knowing what you want and not knowing how to get there. But I've been really taking an upside of it and just looking at mentors, you know, looking at people that look like what I would want to be in, look like it at least, you know. At the end of the day, you really don't know, but just paying attention to like certain traits that you want to become in a person and taking advantage of networking and making connections and just also asking for help. Like, a lot of times it's hard to just like lay down and be like, yo, you know, I don't got this.
Yeah.
You know, I had to like sit down and lay down, like, listen, I need help. Like, I need real help. This is what I want to do. You know, how can I get there? Because you're not growing. And I also felt like I wasn't growing anymore too. You know, like that phase in your life, especially when you're doing all things great, and then it seems like you're just doing the same thing. It's like, okay, what's next? Like,
and then on top of that,
more?
People from the outside, they're like, I see the growth, I'm so proud of you. But then internally, you're like, I don't feel that way.
I don't feel like that. And I get that a lot. They're like, oh my goodness. I'm like, oh my goodness, nothing.
Right.
I'm still figuring this life thing out just like you.
Yeah.
And it seems like sometimes, like, because I think you're an entrepreneur as well, just understanding, like, the way it looks is like, oh, it just happens. But there's like a process. There's tears. You know, there's prayer. And there's going to be like a lot of those downsides where it's like, dang, can I actually do this? Like, do I
Yeah.
actually want to do this?
Definitely. I feel like you're more organized than me though, because especially when
Right.
you were like, yeah, like going like contacting mentors and doing I didn't do that. Honestly, like honest to God, and I feel like I need to get a little bit more organized in my life. My mindset, how I do things, I'm low key just like F it.
For real?
Yeah, I'm kind of spontaneous in a way, but I don't know because I be telling them I don't know if that's like a good thing or if I'm just bringing chaos into my life. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would say to me, that's chaos. I am a very, like, even like my dad knows, like I always say, I'm just a very strategic person. And I feel like sometimes that may have its cons, but I just like to know like what to do next. Like if I wake up in the morning, I have my schedule. And if you invite me to brunch the same day and you didn't tell me the day before, I'm not going. That's just, my mind has to prepare like to be there. Like it has its pros and cons.
My mindset, right? I like have you ever heard of the analogy of like sticking mud to the wall? Like whatever is going to stick is going to stick. And if it doesn't stick, it's not for you.
True. So
my mindset, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to just do it. And if it works out, cool. If it doesn't, it's not for me. One thing I will say though, not to sound like an old African parent, but honestly, what's for you is not gonna pass. Like you gonna go through stuff for real, but if it's in you for a reason, and it's gonna come to you. I feel like that's the journey of life, just knowing that what's mine is what's mine, and nobody's gonna take it from me.
That's true, but you still have to prepare for that, for when it comes.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I need to get more organized. Yeah. I can admit that.
So if you are not prepared for it, when it comes, you're going to miss it. And that's why it's important to be working on that version of yourself that you want to be. And it's not going to be easy. Like I'm telling you, sometimes I wake up, I be like, bruh, I do not want to do anything today.
Wait, but pause. Do you think you going to miss it? Or do you think it's just, because me personally, I feel like it's going to come back around. Like you might miss it for a quick second, but because it's for you, I feel like it's just gonna like loop back around and just become attached. Like you can't shake it.
You may miss it at the time that it was there, but it doesn't mean that it's not gonna come back. Like you said, whatever is for you, but also like in different seasons.
True. I like that. Okay, so you graduated from Georgia State last year with a degree in finance. Okay, so what were those first 3 months like after graduating? Be as detailed as possible.
Okay, first 3 months, you guys, I was outside. I was like, I'm about to have fun. I was traveling. I wasn't really worried about work. I wasn't really worried about making money. I was just like, I'm about to rest and relax.
But you still had your side hustles, though.
Yeah, of course I still had my side hustles. But even that, I took a break. I was like, I need to be rested. You know, this is a revamped new version. Yeah. And then I think the pressure kind of got on after the first 3 months because like I said, like I'm a planner. So I just didn't know what was next. And I didn't know like what steps I was supposed to be taking. You know, African parents are like, go get your master's. I'm tired of school. I don't want to get master's. I'm trying to get some money. Like, what do I need to do to get some money? So I started applying for a lot of roles because I was like, okay, maybe I should get a job. Maybe I shouldn't be doing entrepreneurship because it's not that, and I think we talked about that like before. It's not that I don't want to do entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is in me. It's a part of the way I can serve. It's a part of what I can bring to the world. But I think in this season, like there's more experience that I need to leverage to be that big entrepreneur that I want to be. So, yeah.
But I feel like with you, right, because I can definitely see it in you for sure. Do you think that maybe instead of you, which I'm not, like, if you want to get a job, like, by all means, like, do that. Like, who am I to tell you not to do it? But I was listening to Tyler Perry's story one time, right, and he was saying how, he was just speaking for him personally, how he had multiple jobs, right? He would always get laid off, and then one day he just heard God tell him, you're not supposed to be working. I need you to focus on this like media thing full time. And he thought God was crazy, but then he just kept on hearing it, and then he just, decided, okay, I'm just going to stop working, and then everything I'm a, all my energy, all my focus, I'm gonna put into writing plays, doing, all of that. So do you think maybe that you're in a season where you're probably being called to like do this whole entrepreneurship like full throttle? If that makes sense, I don't know if that makes
scary
sense.
that you say that, because somebody else sent me a message about that like this Sunday about just kind of like living in my purpose on what God has planned for my life. And I think that may be it. And I may be the one just not listening. And that's why sometimes you have to slow down to hear God. And I think there has been times where I feel, okay, maybe I should just go full throttle. But it may just be some imposter syndrome, some fear.
But like, why do you feel
some
fear?
lack of faith? Just because it's hard doing something when you don't have the support, when you don't have the belief anymore. And also, for me, when I just don't know what's next.
So when you say like lack of support, do you mean like from your family, your friends?
And it's crazy because I wouldn't even say it's that, right? I think I have really, really supportive parents. Like if I say, yo, I don't want to do anything, this is what I want to do. Like they'll support, they'll give me money, like they hold it down. I don't even think it's that. And I don't have any siblings either. So I think a lot of the fear is coming from just not knowing. And it's just from me.
But there's so much beauty in the unknown though.
I know.
It's scary, but it's really like it's a lot of beauty in the unknown. Cause that's how you grow, and that's how you learn as a person. See, do you feel like you focus on the end goal too much? And by end goal, like I'm not talking about your goals. I'm talking about the actual end goal. Like when I get this, that's when I'll feel complete.
And that's what I'm being honest about. Like I feel like at first no, but in this season, I think there's been a lot of that, because it's like when you're putting so much into something and then you're not seeing the progress that you want to see, it comes like a lot of it is just coming from me in my head. And that's why I said I really had to slow down and just like get back in my word, get back in that book.
Yeah, facts.
Talk to somebody that's God.
Facts.
That can like really guide me on what that step is, and instead of just trying to like run this way or run that way. And even like with getting a job, like I'll see a job and be like, bro, I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that.
I feel
or
you.
I see some jobs and I'm like, dang, I could do this. I could start this. But then I lose that momentum because of fear. And that's just a part of what the enemy does when there's somebody like me, somebody like you, somebody that's hardworking, somebody that's skilled. The enemy is always going to come and try to like overcome what you're thinking. It's just funny. Like the things you're saying is not that I don't understand, but just in this season, it's really been taking over me and my belief in myself. And it's not that I stopped. I just think I just haven't been doing it on the same level. So, like right now, so I stopped property management just because it's not my end goal. And I think about my end goal, but I have a property management course because that really helped me make a lot of money while I was in school, having Airbnbs, managing people's properties, understanding those operations, learning how to really manage a business. There's little things that I was able to do on my own in that season that I can now implement into my next level. So right now, I'm studying again, kind of back in school. So my end goal is to be a certified financial planner. And it's crazy. Like, so when I look at some stuff that I do, I'm like, wow, like I'm really talented. But I just don't see it sometimes. And it's just weird to me. So I've been working on these financial planners for like 2 years now. I looked at the date, I think, of when it was actually created. And I'm like, why have I never launched this? Like, why?
So it's the imposter syndrome.
It's just the imposter syndrome, like really taking over.
Damn, girl. So one thing I will say is it's good that you have goals. Like, of course, everyone should have goals, but you have to shake that idea of the end goal. That end goal, you have to get rid of it. Like, it has to be, because you get to the end goal, right? Like, okay, you launch the financial planners, they sell out, you make a lot of money, and then what's next?
Right.
But instead of you taking time, right, to embrace this process of, getting there, right, embracing everything that you learned, you're going to miss it because you were so busy focused on the end goal. And then after you get the end goal, like I said, what's next? Like, what you going to do afterwards? And then that's another, stage of overthinking and all of that. You get what I'm saying?
I definitely understand.
So
it's funny, like, hearing it out loud.
Yeah.
But these are the things that goes on in the mind of Shade, But it's funny hearing it out loud. Like, it's not like I don't know these things. And I think I'm happy that you chose this topic because people are really going through the same season. Like just finishing, not knowing what's next, the challenge of transitioning into becoming who you want to be or who you think you want to be. And I think also social media takes a big toll in that.
We've
into
definitely talked
seeing
about
how I learned, this is one of the things I learned in school, social media controls the masses.
Yeah.
And it really does, in a good or in a bad way. And sometimes when you look at it online, like things move quicker, they look like they happen faster than they did, and they really don't. Like there's processes, there's people broke doing it, making it look like they're making money. There's a lot of things that are fake, and you just have to like really hound in on what you want, figure what that is, give it to God, and then get serious about that. And I had to do that, like in this season, to take myself out of that mindset of I can't do it, or it's impossible, or it's not happening, or I don't believe it, or any just negative thinking. I really had to like pull myself out of that after graduation, because they make it seem like after graduation, like everything is wonderful, and it's not. But
life definitely hits.
It's not.
But like, and it's crazy you said that about social media too, because see, I'm the baby of my family, so all my cousins, they're in their like late 30s, early 40s. So last year when I turned 23, I didn't celebrate my birthday. I've talked about that before because I just felt like an old woman, because of everything I was seeing on social media. And my cousins, they're literally like, damn, like that's so sad what it's doing to your generation. Because damn, when I was your age, shit, the things that I was doing, like. Even after graduating, right? It wasn't, although they were still looking for jobs, they didn't have this thing that we have of like, damn, life is life and da 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 da. Not trivializing what we're going through, because it's like a real thing. But it's just, you see people in our age group on social media, they have certain things, they're selling out their courses, they have a lot of subscribers, and you're like, damn, I thought I did the right thing.
Yeah. and that's why
why is it not happening to me?
It's funny because sometimes it's just one thing my uncle said, and it was so funny. He was like, one thing about social media is everybody is fine and everybody's rich on the internet. That's what it looks like.
True.
But just hound into what you want to do, figure what that is, and just take the right steps to get there. I think you just told me that. You was like, girl, you got to go through phase A, B,
you have to.
and D. You can't just go to A to Z. That's just not how it works.
But like what J. Cole said, is beauty in the struggle, for real. Because that's how you, and on top of that, in order for you to even get better, like you have to fail. Like it has to happen, because how are you going to get better, for real?
That's true. Very true.
Exactly. So what's been the biggest adjustment that you've had to make since graduating? And that can apply to like pretty much anything in your life, like with your routine, with your way of thinking about certain things.
I would say two things. So, if you said one thing. So I would say definitely, this is a positive adjustment. I would say just going more to the gym. Just because I feel like I definitely didn't get like freshman 15 during school, but I got post-grad 15. So I definitely had to like start getting more serious about going to the gym and trying to make it a part of my routine, whether it's in the morning, at least 3 times a week, try to get in there. Because, girl, the way the weight just be coming, I'm like, hey.
Especially when you celebrating, you just happy. So question, did you graduate in a 4-year time span?
No, I did not. I think it took me 5.5 years to graduate. I started at Savannah State University, and there I was, I transferred because I wanted to do nursing, and they didn't have a nursing program at Savannah State. But it's like, did I want to do nursing, or did my mom want me to? Don't tell her I told you. I wouldn't even say it's my mom only, just kind of like the influence of, in an African home, there's only like a few degrees that are spoken about, and I didn't really know any other one, especially as a woman. It's like, okay, just be a nurse. And I'm like, okay. And my cousin was a nurse, and she was cute. She was making money. And then I got into the program, and I'm like, I don't think this is for me, after transferring to Georgia State. And my dad is actually an accountant. So choosing the realm of finance has a lot to do with me getting into multi-level marketing, learning about cryptos, learning about investments, and just letting me see the world like in a different way. Like, wow, there's other ways to actually financially be in this world. There's different ways to invest, and I just really wanted to hound in on that, and it just interested me. So I chose finance.
Okay, that's really dope. Yeah, no, I asked that question because I know like with us being like first generation, right? I don't know about you, but there's a lot of pressure on me to graduate in that 4-year time span. And I did, but the amount of classes that I was taking, and on top of that, like summer classes as well, that took a huge toll on my mental. So I wish I did what you did and just kind of just, like relaxed a little bit and did it on my time. Damn, what was a follow-up question I was gonna ask you and I literally just forgot. Oh yeah. So do you think your parents do you think they fully support this like entrepreneurship? Because I don't know, you give me like entrepreneur vibes.
Oh, cute.
And by that I mean like instead of you working like a corporate job, which is nothing wrong with corporate because people make 6 figures in corporate.
To say I would say definitely. I would say right now, most of the time, yes. But obviously, I think I shared, like, I'm an only child, so the pressures are a little different for me. They're not worried about me getting a corporate job or doing entrepreneurship to make money for them, but more so to make sure that I'm set for myself and also, like, gauging a level of experience that I can get from a job. And that's something my dad says. He's like, school is not to make you money. It's just all a title. It's all a level of class in your life. Also, like, getting a job is not just to make money. It's experience that you can leverage to be where you really want to be. You've seen people, like, work in Fortune 500 companies, and they come out and they're able to build their own thing because there's certain things that I think I know that I don't know until I actually get in the inside and learn, like, why is this like this? How to actually run a team efficiently. So I would say yes, my parents do support my dreams of being an entrepreneur, and they take time, they invest in what I want to do. And
that's a blessing.
Yeah, definitely 100% a blessing. Definitely my dad as well. Like, I can have some like different ideas, and he's always like, well, go do it. They're never like, don't do that. They support me, so it's a blessing.
Wait, quick question. So during undergrad, did you have little like part-time jobs, or you just solely got your money from your side hustles?
Just side hustles. I just did Airbnb while in college.
Okay.
I think for 1 year, I did sales. That was like 2019. That was when I got the money to start Airbnb. Mm-hmm. So I did like timeshare sales, and then when I graduated, I got an opportunity to be a manager for the company that I worked for. Mm-hmm. So that was smooth, and then the company shut down. So I was like, dang, God said don't work. Told y'all.
I see, like me, right? Like I always kept a job during undergrad, but it wouldn't last. So like I remember I worked at Finish Line, right? And that was like for 2.5 weeks. I was like, I just can't. I feel like
I worked there for 1 day.
I was like, I can't do this. And then where else did I work at? Oh, it was this insurance company, and that was like 3.5 weeks. And I was like, yeah, nah, can't do it. Do you think that's like a Gen Z thing, or do you think it's just something in us?
I think it is, though. Like, sometimes I'll be like, dang, am I lazy? Like,
but I feel like it's something in us that's like, we're meant for like more. Because I'm not learning for, like, this is literally just, I'm not making that much money. I'm not learning from this. Why am I here? That's my mindset.
That's how it was, too. I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm like, I'm good, bro. Do I ask you for anything? What's your business with me?
Exactly.
I'm not going to lie, too. I'm also, like, parents funded, too. So that helps with not having to work, which is a blessing, not having to, like, stress while being in school. But I just wanted to hustle. While I was in school, I was hustling. I was out there knocking it out, trying to get it. But It's not because, like, there was pressures to bring money in at that time. And that's the African grace that they always give us.
I feel like the grace, well, I don't know about you, but I know for me, the grace definitely comes while being in school.
In school. That's it. Just go to school.
But if you're not, you kind of on your own a little bit.
Right.
No, but like okay, so I don't know if your parents are like this, right? But for me, I had like a little side hustle. So back in 2020, you remember when everything shut down and we got those refund checks from school?
Mm-hmm.
So I started a hair business with that, and everything was going like mad good. Like I was making money, but then the demand was getting too much while I was in school,
No.
and I was like, okay, do I want to do this or do I want to like take a little break?
Now she let go of the clients, the customers.
No, but like let me tell you, because when I was explaining to my parents, right, they were like, okay, what's for you is not gonna pass. That's where I got the mindset from. So they was like, I mean, you gonna give up your education for some money? And I was like, but and like me taking a break, like what is it? Gap year.
Mm-hmm.
That. But and like me taking a break, like what is it? Gap year.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't exist in my house.
Me either, but. I got a cat, bro. I mean, how they gonna know? You got a cat.
So yeah, I did not take that gap year, and I had to like take a break from the business. But like I'm restarting it back up. I have to like get into the groove of things, but like it's a lot harder because grad school.
That was the best time to do it, 2020.
I know.
I think after 2020, the launch of businesses, like online businesses, was crazy. That's when people were like, I need to learn how this social media thing works.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's going to be harder. I'm not saying it's impossible, but the competition is definitely more now.
It's a lot.
That's why 2020 was booming, because a lot of people weren't selling hair online. Like, even Amazon sells hair now.
Yeah. That was the best
Next
time
day
to start
delivery.
a business. Facts. That was the best time to start a business. But it's okay though. God got me. I gotta like get into the groove of things though. But like it's kind of hard balancing this and then school and then trying to start that as well.
Yeah, just get a virtual assistant.
True. I was thinking about that. Someone had told me that as well. Yeah, okay. I gotta like organize myself. So, was it difficult for you to cultivate new relationships post undergrad?
I would say a little bit. Yes and no. So this is me. If it's about money, if it's about growth, I'm there 1,000%. What's up?
Yeah.
I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to network. But if it's not, I'm good, bro. So I would say, like, when it comes to like networking, I definitely do go out my way. On LinkedIn, I'm messaging somebody every day. Hey, what's up?
Same.
How you doing? Nice connecting with you. I go to events. I find events, random events. I go to them. If it's in a different city, I'll go. But as far as like friendships, maybe not, because I be in the house. Aside of that.
But you gotta find that balance though.
When I get the money, I can balance.
See, but didn't we just talk about that? You got no. You gotta get out of that mindset for real. Because here's the thing, community, is very important, and you need really good people around you.
Okay, maybe let me backtrack. I would say when you're saying like community, it just reminded me. So I actually started going to a new church.
Okay, that's good.
And just being more consistent in church, trying to serve in church, joining a small group. So those type of communities, I definitely did start taking advantage of. So I go to Dominion City Norcross, come see us. And it's been a really great community. And I think one thing I can say about that church is like it's taught me how to pray. Like a lot of times you think like you can't pray on your own. You gotta call a pastor to pray for you. But that church has taught me how to pray. And I definitely made like a lot of new friends from that church, new people that I can count on a different level, on a spiritual level. And that's really helped me out of, my anxiety, out of my fear.
That's good. Okay, that's good. Because like networking is cool, like it's necessary. Keep on doing what you're doing, but balance. Yeah. Balance is everything. Would you say that while you were in undergrad, it was a lot more easier for you to not necessarily like go out your way, but it was more easier for you to connect with people versus now? Or would you say it's just about the same?
I would say it's just about the same.
Oh, wow.
Because I went to Georgia State. So it's like to make connections, you have to step out your way to make connections.
I didn't have to do that, though.
Really? I think
I would just step outside and be like, what's good? Hey, what we doing tonight?
That's you stepping out your way, though. Like in Savannah State, like going to a HBCU, a smaller campus. A campus. Georgia State is not a campus. It's the streets. We're just literally outside.
True.
So going to a smaller campus, like the community was just there. Like people are just always in your face. Like
no, but that's how I felt about Georgia State, though.
I don't know. I didn't feel like that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of friends. I was in a lot of clubs. I got interactive.
Yeah.
But I feel like for somebody who is not as open as I am, and maybe just a little bit more like shy, they might have a harder time making friends. And Georgia State is really cliquey too. It's like you gotta get your clique and stick with it.
That I will. I don't know if I felt the same way. I feel like I've seen it with like some people, but overall, yeah, I miss it. I get sad sometimes. That was such a fun time.
She had a different experience.
Those were really fun times. I miss undergrad. Kennesaw. I go to Kennesaw.
Okay.
And like it's cool, but like I feel like Georgia State's a little bit more cultured.
Really?
If that makes sense.
Oh.
But they nice as hell. Like they really cool. But I just feel like, you know, Georgia State was more like, you know, like what's good? Hey, how you doing? You know?
More black?
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say it, but
I know.
Yeah. That is so funny. So like
culture.
So is dating more fun during while you're in undergrad or after?
I would say after, just because
Same.
In undergrad, like you're still kind of like figuring out yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe just a little bit selfish with your time, and everybody has like their own separate goals that they're trying to reach. So I would say definitely after has been better, because I'm actually in a long distance relationship, so me and my boyfriend are long distance. So if we're in school, it's kind of hard to be like, oh, I'm gonna come see you. So now we see each other a lot more.
That's good. So wait, you started that relationship during undergrad or post undergrad?
During undergrad. I almost forgot.
Okay. That's dope. So at least you have someone like another outlet. But I get it. Sometimes, you know, we go through things, even though we're in relationships or like we have friends, we still go through things where it's like, okay, I know you're there for me, but like I gotta figure this out by myself. So I guess as a closing question, so what's your advice to someone that is experiencing post-grad depression?
I know it's crazy I didn't cry, because talking about this before was like really hard.
Mm-hmm.
What I would say to anyone that's like dealing with post-grad depression is really just take this time to figure out what you want to do and enjoy every moment of not having to work, not having to pay bills. And if you are in a situation where you do have to pay bills and take care of things, just find a different thing to do right now. Like where you want to be may not happen just in this moment. And also let yourself get through the steps instead of just trying to like run through the finish line, because it's not going to happen like that. And then lastly, get in your word. Like if you're a Christian, if you're not, try to get in the word, because that's the only outlet that's really going to help you see and understand where you need to be and be your strength and really expose you to your purpose on what you should be doing and how to actually get there. So give yourself grace. Love you guys loads. And if you're going through it and you need somebody to talk to, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I'll send you my number, just because I know what it's like to be in that season. And if you know me personally, you'll be like, you were in a season like that? Because it's hard for people to see it and it's not always known. So don't try to go through it by yourself. Like, find a community, and I'm here.
Okay, yeah, period. Just piggyback off of that, you know, I've mentioned this before, but if you are in a situation where you don't have any major bills to pay and you have, you know, someone that you can stay with, I know it's probably not your like ideal situation, but I would say take full advantage of that. Count every lesson, and I would just say just run it up the best way that you can, for real, because other people don't have that. And if you are in a situation where okay, it's not like that, I would say it's imperative to have a belief in something. I'm not telling you what to believe in, but you need to believe in something, because life can definitely be lifing, and it's good to have something that you believe in, whatever it is, something. And then two, just know that despite what you see on social media, you're not the only person going through what you're going through.
Right.
And, you know, I will say that although I am in grad school, this was a personal choice. I was not pressured to do this.
You sure?
This is definitely a personal choice, but it does get better. And thank you so much for sharing your story too. Like, I really appreciate you being transparent. Yeah. So I don't know if we talked about all your like side hustles as well, because so you are taking a break from the Airbnb project management thing, or no?
So yeah, I'm not personally doing property management. I have some students who are doing property management. So I have a property management course, and I'm launching financial planners.
Okay.
Just really trying to help you guys budget, save, and just move towards investments. Like you said, if you're able to save in any way, save. Don't worry about what people think. Don't worry about what it's looking like. Don't worry about being flashy. Really get to the money. I had to cut down like a lot of things. I started doing my hair by myself.
Oh God, same.
I was
no, I'm saying same. Like, yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get my nails done every 2 weeks. I'm not gonna get my hair done every 2 weeks, but I will get my toes done every 2 weeks. So I had to kind of improvise on what those things are to get a good balance. So I launched a financial planner that I created. Took me 2 years, finally done. So just give it to like next month and we'll be out.
Okay, yeah, period. So you can follow Shay if you want to keep up with her, everything that she's doing. You want to buy them financial planners, so I know I would definitely be getting one. You can follow her on all social media platforms at...
So on Instagram at __SEYI. And you can follow me on LinkedIn at Shay SEYI. And then Fasan, F as in Frank, A as in Apple, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy.
We're going to link it down here.
I'm a salesperson. You gotta make sure.
You gotta make sure they can spell it right. You were so funny. But thank you, girls, so much for stopping by. You definitely, I mean, you have to come back. Like,
yeah, I'm happy to be here. This was dope. Thanks for having me.